Mercenary 3 is a first-person, open-world space adventure game. Sort of. It's from a time when genres were less clearly defined, and this game was way ahead of its time. When I first played this, it changed my perception of games forever. The games I'd played before were mostly linear and 2D. They didn't make me feel like I was exploring a world. Then the doors opened on the prison facility on the planet Metis, and I was presented with the endless possibilities of the open road. The game takes place in the Gamma star system, which consists of dozens of worlds. It has space combat, puzzle solving, exploration, politics, windmills, and an efficient public transport network. What more could you want? A lot of this won't seem like a big deal to modern eyes, but this was released in 1992. That's a year before Frontier Elite 2, and 2 years before the first Elder Scrolls game. This was huge, and not really like anything else up to this point. Yeah, there was Elite and similar games, but that's flying through space. This had you exploring planets on foot, and then getting into a spaceship to visit other worlds, and talking to people. Anyway, let's get started. You play as the hero from the previous game who averted disaster by deflecting the comet Damocles from impacting Eris, one of the inhabited planets. So why exactly am I in prison? Well, anyway, as you leave, you're told you have a letter from former President Margaret, and someone called PC Bill has asked you to pay him a visit. He'll pay for the taxi ride too. After a short journey to the spaceport, we get to take another free ride to PC Bill's headquarters on Tolosa. 3 hours, what the hell? The pilot starts talking about how great Bill is. He's the greatest businessman ever, apparently, and he's running for president. Oh dear. It becomes clear that this is just going to feel like 3 hours. Actually, this game has a time dilation mechanic when you're travelling between planets. Keep that in mind for later. The dialogue scrolls by in this tiny little bar. The whole game runs pretty slowly by modern standards. Originally, it ran at 5 frames per second on the Amiga. I originally played it on the Atari ST, and I don't know if it was better or worse, but in this case I'm using a port called Mercenary Reloaded, which allows you to switch the rendering to OpenGL, which is high res and much smoother. It interpolates between the frames of the original, so everything moves nice and smoothly. Although I actually prefer the chunky look of the original rendering. The world feels somehow less empty in a lower resolution. When it's high res, it just feels more blank. This port also allows you to increase the frame rate. That does lead to some issues though, because animations and movement are linked to the frame rate, so the taxi ride whizzes by and the dialogue gets left behind. It's worth it though, because the original speed is painful by modern standards, especially the turning speed. Come on! Anyway, we get delivered to PC Bill's headquarters and get to read a flyer telling us again about how great he is. Then we meet the man himself. He makes some veiled threats and tells us to go waste time on a gambling planet. Sure, Bill, why not? Oh, what's this? A post-it note? It tells us that he can't afford a payout from his gambling operation in excess of 150 million. All we need to do is do something very improbable. How hard could that be? This big black box is a teleporter. Just step inside, and when you walk out, you're on another planet. This is incredible technology. Are these alien artifacts? The game doesn't explain it as far as I know. Anyway, let's go have some fun on Bacchus. The game starts you with 51 million credits. Is that a lot? Maybe. Oh shit, look how much this taxi ride costs. Let's get moving. Welcome to Bacchus for that total experience. Yeah, it must be something pretty spectacular if Bill thinks it'll keep me distracted. Wow. This is a casino? A single roulette wheel? Like I'm going to be enticed by this. Oh no, I'm broke. Mostly. I hope this is enough to get me to the spaceport. Wow, the taxi took me a whole 2 feet before kicking me out. Well played, Bill. Okay, let's start over. If we head to this solicitor's office at the beginning instead, exciting I know, there's a guy telling us we owe him money? Oh great, I'm down 2 million already. But he tells us there's a teleporter in this building. Nice, we can get to the meeting with Bill in record time. The teleporter actually goes to 10 different locations. So, what do? We have a whole solar system to explore. Well, the taxi driver from earlier said I should run for president. You see, Bill is running unopposed, and the taxi driver doesn't like him. A shady casino-owning businessman as president? What's the worst that could happen? So yeah, the goal is to prevent Bill becoming president, and it has multiple solutions. When I played this as a kid, I would delight in just exploring these worlds. So, let's get on a bus and see where it takes us. The bus pass will show you what the next destination is. Ooh, this looks interesting. Bargain traders. What could be for sale? It's a key for a spaceship. It's expensive, but I'm not saying no to a spaceship. Spaceship! Oh yeah, and you can sell items by dropping them in the trading posts. Margaret's letter sells for a decent amount. I wonder if it said anything important. Let's take this thing for a spin. Oh yes, the twin turbo is appropriately named. Fortunately, the ships in this game are made of indestructiblium or something, because you can crash them as hard as you like and they just stop. There's another shop here. Let's see what this one is offering. This one is empty. This one has a book. Oh yeah, and you can pick up almost anything in this game. That's the point for this being an adventure game. It's a hint book. Could it be that whatever offers Bill the best prospects for future riches and wealth could, as an alternative, provide the same for you? That's too cryptic. We do know you don't have to pay to read this, right? So I spent some time flying around Eris with my lovely new spaceship, and this is really cool. Again, there was nothing like this back then. Not that I played anyway. The sense of freedom was incredible. You can go anywhere and do anything. Who knows what you'll find? Even now, I'm eager to discover something I hadn't seen before. I never finished this back in the day, or even when I went back to it, about 10 years ago when I started this channel. This time though, I'm hoping to finally defeat PC Bill. One problem though is that it's hard to navigate. When you travel on the bus or the taxi, it gives you a much better idea of where you're going. Most of the buildings you'll find just by wandering about have nothing in them, so it can be a bit tedious to just explore blindly. This one looks interesting though. Maybe a power plant? Oh, there's a detonator in here. That means I might be able to detonate something. Like explosives that I don't have. Well, I know what I'm putting on my wish list. Oh yeah, and you might have noticed these weird ships flying around. Those are PC Bill's private army. What does this button do? Oh, this thing has weapons. Well, I think we just found another method of defeating Bill. The old-fashioned method. That's a lot of ships to destroy though, and how to find them. Well, let's take to the skies and see if we can locate Tolosa, PC Bill's headquarters. Thing is, space is big and confusing, and I get lost. After flying around for a long time and not finding it, it seems that time has been speeding by. Remember the time dilation I mentioned? Well, it's been 9 hours of relative time. And this happens. Okay, let's start over. This time with politics. I need to head to Vesta to register as a candidate. The teleporter does go to Vesta, but it's inside a locked building, so that's useless. Isn't that one of the amazing things about games? That they let you do things that are mere fantasy in real life? Anyway, let's plan a trip on public transport and take a short flight. The cab driver on Vesta doesn't like Bill either. I bet it's because he's planning to have them all replaced with robots or something. She suggests I go talk to a guy called J. Arthur Hoover, because he has some information about Bill that could help take him down. This is obviously a reference to J. Edgar Hoover, but I'm not sure why. Hoover was famously corrupt, not exactly known for uncovering corruption. So why this reference? The game has a few things like that. Former President Margaret is a reference to Margaret Thatcher, who was a recent Prime Minister, but it doesn't seem to be satire or anything. It's just, hey, this person has a similar name, haha. I enter my name into the election registrar, which apparently is running on a BBC Micro. Hey, that poll was fast, and I've already got 27% support. And Bill is immediately talking shit about me. I better get this campaign started. The Bank of Gaia, BOG, lends me 8 million. Nice. But Lawson Bank says no. I do find this paper dart in the back, which seems to have some financial data about Bill on it. I don't understand what it means though, so I leave it. At the spaceport, I meet a parent and child. The kid is going on at her to pick her up, but she's having none of it. Don't worry kid, I'll pick you up. And just like that, I sway the young voters. Politics is easy. There's no ship at this port though, so I head to the other spaceport. This guy looks familiar. He tells us that some of the other drivers run ridiculous rip-off routes. Yeah, no shit. The journey to the Galaxy spaceport took 3 minutes and cost 1 million credits. I was curious exactly how bad this route was, so I kept an eye on the coordinates. The HUD shows planetary coordinates and city coordinates. This is what the road network looks like. And this is the coordinate grid and some places of interest. Should be pretty straightforward to get anywhere. Let's track the route this cab took me on. This is insane! I've had cabbies rip me off like this before. Well, not this badly. But I saw them take the long way round when I could see that the GPS was telling them a shorter way. Nah mate, this is a shortcut, innit? When I become president, my first act will be to make this sort of thing illegal. Oh crap, I forgot to put the kid back! Bill accuses Jim. Oh come on, it was an honest mistake. Look, she's fine. Run along now, scamp. You've got a taxi card, right? Yeah, this doesn't look good. I'd better reload. Heading back to Eris now. There's a lot of places to check out. It's actually an ocean planet with several inhabited islands. I hire some ad agencies, and look at that, my name in lights. It's all been worth it. I go and pay my taxes, which gets me a lot of credit with the voters. Oh how low the bar is. I wonder if there's anything useful at Margaret's retreat. I do find a mysterious door key, a horoscope that manages to be oddly specific, yet still uselessly vague, and a broomstick. Okay, so there's a bit of satire here. Heading over to the other islands, I buy some more advertising. The election rules say I can only spend 40 million on campaigning though, so I better keep an eye on that. This part of the game is pretty dry, honestly. Mostly travelling from one place to another, wandering around mostly empty buildings, trying to find the one room that has someone or something in it. I get the feeling they really wanted to do more, to fill these spaces with furniture and people and activity, but I guess it wasn't feasible in the engine. Alright, let's head on to Dion. I found this A to Z computer in the ETA house at Eris. It's kind of like a GPS. When you use it, it shows your current location. That's pretty useful. I also decided to dump a bunch of random objects I've been picking up. I don't know if any of these things have a use. I think a lot of them are red herrings. Dion is very green. I get the impression it's meant to be the equivalent of the countryside. It's got windmills, greenhouses, farms, and delightful little country pubs, with nothing in them. Taking a flight over to the North Island, and Snakeboy Jeff here doesn't like Bill either. Last time I went home there was this ruddy great Palvin miner in my garden. At this point I'm wondering just who is voting for this bastard. Bill has bought a lot of land here. There's a bunch of his mining machines ready to go, and many of the locations have his name on them. Bill's Bar, Bill's Farm Machinery, Bill's Drapery, Bill's Mother's. Oh, that's interesting. What will we find in there? A key, apparently. To what? I'm not sure. Oh dear. That red light there means hostiles in the area. Yep, I guess Bill didn't like me snooping around his mum's house. That's quite understandable, actually. They don't seem to be attacking me, though. There's a few trading posts here, too, which are selling explosives. I can't say no to explosives. Another location is Old Joan's Cottage. Is that the same Joan that sent a horoscope to former President Margaret? Maybe. Holy crap, she has actual furniture. And what's this? A lucky charm. Too bad I can't see a luck stat to see if this thing actually does anything. I take it anyway. This is also where we find Arthur's cottage, where we can get that information about Bill that the taxi driver told us about on Vesta. No sign of Arthur, but he's left the report right here. Apparently Bill's casinos are used for money laundering, he's selling suspect pharmaceuticals, and he's running for president so he can authorise Palvin mining on this lovely island. Well, it's lovely at night. During daytime the sky is a horrible bright yellow for some reason. Oh yeah, and there's 20 pages worth of proof that he's been avoiding taxes. Bill is even more of a bastard than I thought. This should be enough to bury him. But what do I do with it? Maybe take it to a news agency? Jeff also suggested that we hire out a plane from the airstrip. You can pick up the key at the nearby building. That's a sleek ship. Let's try it out. Oh dear, they're shooting at me. I wonder if this can go to space. Probably not. And I'm a bit dead. F10 to quit. Huh, That's weird. It just put me back at the bus station on Eris. And we still have all the same items and money. It just respawns you. You don't permanently die. Holy crap, this game really was ahead of its time. Alright, let's carry on then. After dumping some more extraneous inventory in the ETA house, I decide to head over to Bacchus to see if this lucky charm actually does anything. Spin, spin, spin. Oh, look at that. Anytime it lands on grey, it gets nudged over. What? Jim in Vice scandal? Election candidate seen in gambling den? Seen by who? There's no one here! Also, how is it a scandal for me to be associated with gambling when the other candidate owns the bloody place? Well, anyway, let's see how this goes. Newsflash, Bill bankrupt. And just like that, victory. That was too easy though. I want to beat him properly. So let's reload a bit before breaking the bank, and now we're flush with cash. Time to go buy that twin turbo, oh yeah! On the way I pick up the handy opinion poll, which we can use to check the election polls. I head over to Eris television, hoping they'll do something with this report, but no luck. Alright, now it's twin turbo time. The bus timetable has the coordinates of each stop, so it's a simple matter to navigate now that I've got the hang of the coordinate system. I noticed there's an island that the transport network doesn't go to, so let's check it out. Snow Island. There's not a lot here. Some buildings that look like igloos, an empty wine bar, an empty airport, and an unmarked trading post. It's selling a power glove. I love the power glove. It's so bad. Actually, it's brilliant. Watch this. Yep, now I can put my spaceship into my pockets. Definitely an adventure game. The advantage of this is that now I can take my ship through the teleporters, which means no time dilation travelling between planets. Wicked. So I head over to Dion and spend some time flying around. It does make me wish this game had higher draw distance. It would be great to be able to see more of these buildings in the distance and all the buses moving about. But the game already has 2 ports that run on modern systems, so I'm just being greedy. I think this game would be worthy of a full remaster, but Novagen, the company that made the game, has long since ceased to be. Also, the main programmer of the game, Paul Wokes, sadly died in 2017. So I have no idea who owns the rights to the game anymore. The version I'm playing now, Mercenary Reloaded, was last updated in 2019. It's a testament to the impact this game has had, that people are still working on ports for the game decades later. But you don't hear much about this game when people talk about early open world games. Usually you'll hear people talk about Elite or Elder Scrolls, while Mercenary is rarely mentioned. But this was my first open world game, and it will always be special. Oh look, more explosives. Hey, I have an idea. Let's explode Bill. Are you a god? Oh wait, I forgot to set the explosive power. Let's try level 5. Okay, that was too much. How about level 3? That did it. There's nothing left. Looks like he's still tweeting about me, despite him having exploded. Maybe there is more to him than meets the eye. Actually, the purpose of the explosives is to blow up Bill's mining machinery, so we'll need 6 bombs. I find 2 more at Pyrotech Supplies on Gaia, and a final one at a power plant on Clotho. While exploring, I also find a briefcase that doubles my inventory space, another spaceship, which of course I buy, and a land deed to a plot of land on Logos, which of course I buy. I still have tons of money. We'll come back to this a bit later. So, let's blow up some mining machines. We'll try level 6. Boom. And boom. Oh, it looks like they've noticed. Well, it seems they won't shoot me if I'm on foot, or on the bus. So I guess we're taking a bus trip. Such wanton destruction of property. Boom. 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 And boom. Sucks to be you, Bill. He's not insured and his creditors move in on him. He is beaten. But this isn't satisfying enough. It's not enough just to ruin his current plans. This guy needs to be put away. We have the evidence, but I couldn't figure out where to take it. I looked it up and it's pretty straightforward actually. We need to take it to the tax office, where we paid our taxes earlier on. And I feel stupid for not having thought of it. For being such an early adventure game, these solutions are actually quite reasonable. None of this combine the sausage meat with the hot air balloon to distract the monkey so you can steal his cheese nonsense. Actually, that does have a weird logic to it. So we get deputized to take Bill into custody. But first we need a place to put him. Apparently the prison I was in isn't good enough. What's wrong with it? Look, it even has a lovely cobweb. So remember the land deed we picked up? Well, if you go to the office for the estate agent where we bought the deed, you'll find a land prospectus that lays out plans for a prison to put on a plot of land on Logos. All we need to do is head over to Instant Architects and... oh look, they even have a model of the prison. What? This is the actual prison? I don't think Bill will fit in that. But this is apparently an inflatable prison or something. It will self-construct once we plop it down. Another example of quite extraordinary technology, I think. Maybe it uses some of the same space warping that allows me to fit a spaceship in my trousers. Once everything is sorted at the land registry on Dion, it's just a matter of putting the prison down and, oh, how do I get out? The door is locked. Son of a bitch. Okay, let's try that again, and this time I'll pick up the key at Instant Architects, which is on a different floor, which they do not mention. That's another thing I had to look up. So many of these buildings have 9 floors, and you'll be lucky to find 1 item in the whole place, let alone 2 floors with things on them. Alright, doing this again, and now we can actually open the door. All that remains is to apprehend that naughty man. We'll need 2 keys, one that we found at Bill's mother's already, and another at Bill Industries on Clotho. It's just sitting in the lobby. Bill needs better security. Bill makes an empty threat when you get to his room. Yoink! Into my pockets you go. He doesn't like it. Off we go. He complains and our protagonist is still silent as Gordon Freeman. In he goes, and the doors close on this dastardly cur. Hey, at least you got a chair. That's more than I had. And with that, the game is essentially finished. But much like other open world games, it lets you keep going. There's not a great deal left to do. There are no side quests or other objectives. There's a few Easter eggs you can find. But that's pretty much it. It would have been interesting to see what Novagen would do next with the series. But this was their last game. They were pioneers of the open world style of game. And they showed me the potential that games have to be portals into other worlds. What? Look behind the prison? Why, what's there? What?